Hello, everybody, and welcome to the 5 Tips and Tricks for Careers in Athletics. I am your host, Dr. Maury Mosfitz, with my all-time most favorite, most wonderful, most giggliest at the beginning of every episode,
I
Jen
try.
Albanese.
I try. Hello,
You can't hold it
everybody.
back. It's
I
like
can't.
it's right
I
there.
can't. I can't.
Well,
Hello, everyone. Welcome to the podcast.
we're very lucky we have Katie Scanlon on today.
Uh,
Just her focus has been in academics and academic support, but I would say more student athlete
yeah.
support. Like she's a
Yes.
holistic supporter,
Yes.
and I know that she's gonna have a killer episode. She always has great things to say. So
And she's so sweet. We love her. Such a good friend, and we get to work with
absolutely.
her on a daily basis. So it's really nice to be able to connect with her like on this. So this will be fun.
Absolutely. So have to bring it up. We have
Yeah.
had like hell and high water come up to, well, no water.
No
So
water. What are
where
you
we
saying?
live has been the craziest thing. I hope we can do this in our short intro, but basically Jen and I both have gone from right before Christmas, them saying that they're going to possibly cut the water off to our homes.
Yep.
Because a pipe that's 42 inches, we know everything about it, has broken, and that feeds the main water line to the area in which we live, not the entire Syracuse area, but just the
ours.
town, the 27,000 households that we live inside of.
We just won the lottery there, boys.
Yes.
We won the lottery.
So my wife has gone on to be the water police for the entire family. She's checking
Yes.
up on everyone. She calls her mother. She calls you guys. How long is your showers? What are you doing?
How
with
many
your
loads of laundry have you done?
Do you flush if it's yellow? If it's yellow, it shouldn't be flushed. If it's brown, flush it down. Now you're only doing, I live with it. You only get to get a call about it.
Godspeed to you. But yeah, so it's been like insane. And yeah, we've been told to conserve our water and to only use what you need for necessity, which is obviously like if you need to flush it if you poop, obviously. And so like we're going to the grocery store and getting like cases of water and like, you know, making sure we're only doing laundry like once a week, which with 2 children on either side of the households here is very difficult. And it's the holidays, so everybody's home from school. So it's been a challenge, I'll say that.
Just bottled water, cooking it with bottled water. Just it's been no fun.
Crazy. And then on top of it, we literally are in the thick of it right now in like blizzard-like conditions. And right now I think we're at like, John, my husband, measured this morning. It's like 18 inches in our driveway of snow.
And just for information, yesterday, like all the snow melted.
Yeah,
like
there was
because
nothing.
It rained and there was like nothing on the ground. And we wake up this morning and it was almost up to 18 inches. So even for Syracuse, New York, that is a lot of snow in a short period of time.
Yeah. So it's like you're not like travel advisories and like we're supposed to still get more for the rest of today. So, you know, it's been so much fun. It's been so much fun.
And this probably will actually, it works out because this episode will probably come out soon. So people will not be too far out from this, but like.
Yeah, it won't be like they're hearing it in the summertime. Like, what the hell are they talking about?
No, it's Tuesday today, right? We're on Tuesday.
Yes, today's Tuesday.
They're telling us it could last all the way through Thursday. So if this episode comes out and you just see white on the screen in the second part, it means that we got snowed completely into our homes, and it's
It's why you can probably hear children in the background because they're home, and it's just, oh my God. We need to get back to daily life, that's for sure. But it's been crazy. So, you know, everybody, hopefully in 2025, we can figure this out with water and the snow and everything else.
Hopefully, sometime in 2025, we'll get our full water service back and we can enjoy regular life again.
2026 at this point. So who knows?
God.
All right. Well,
we got to have to Katie, who also is on her snow day. So hopefully we appreciate her doing this for us, and we'll be back after these messages.
Are you a loyal 5 Tips and Tricks podcast listener? If not, now is the time to start. Get all your info and fun content on the podcast by following us on all our social channels at @AthCareerPod. The 5 Tips and Tricks podcast is a part of Athletic Career Consulting. Make sure to reach out to us. The one-stop shop for everything is our website, www.athcareer.com. Remember, follow and like us on @AthCareerPod, rate and review us, and get all your info at www.athcareer.com. Okay, everybody, welcome back. Maury, would you like to introduce our guest today?
Absolutely. From synchronized swimming champion to academic leader, today's guest has built a career dedicated to student athlete success. A native of Oswego, New York, she earned her bachelor's degree at Canisius University, where she captained the Golden Griffins synchronized swimming team to a 4 ECAC title. After completing a master's in higher education administration at Dayton, she spent 2 years at Dayton and 3 years at New Mexico, honoring her expertise in academic support for athletes. In December 2011, she joined Syracuse University as an academic coordinator. By 2017, she was leading student athlete development, working with nearly every varsity program, including the men's basketball team. Her leadership and impact earned her recognition on Central New York's 40 Under 40 list in 2013. She also is a proud member of Women Leaders in College Sports, a swimming and diving official, and a volunteer for Special Olympics. Most recently, she's earned her PhD in higher education from Syracuse. She stepped into a new role in June 2025 with her first year as Director of Student Athlete Success and Engagement, overseeing the holistic development of more than 550 student athletes and managing key campus partnerships. We're very pleased to welcome to the podcast my friend, Katie Scanlon. Welcome, Katie.
Our friend.
Our friend. I've known her longer, though.
All right, fine. You win. Okay.
I don't know.
I know her all the way
You
back.
two are the ones who, you two have been here for a long time. I probably known both of you a similar amount of time.
Yeah, but we met at N4A before you were at Syracuse. So
Oh, that's right. Okay, so Maury takes it. Sorry, Jen.
All
So
right,
I
fine.
win.
It's fine. You can win, but we are all friends with Katie. We love
are
Katie so
friends.
much. So
We're
this is
very
so
happy to
nice.
work with Katie.
Yes.
It's a great thing.
It is very much so. Very much so.
Well, Katie, we wanted to get you on the podcast because we know you have some great advice to share with people. So with that, let's get your first tip or trick.
Yeah. So my first tip is that you really need to remember everyone is paying attention. You never know who the person is who's going to get you your next job and who they're connected to. When I traveled with men's basketball a lot, Herm Frazier, who's one of our senior leaders, traveled with us, and I always used to kind of joke, like, it's not 6 degrees from Kevin Bacon, it's 6 degrees from Herm Frazier. So you just never know who an athlete knows each other. Yeah.
Absolutely. It's so interesting because we were talking about, going to conferences, and like that's really kind of how you got connected to Syracuse, right? It's like you were just going as being at the New Mexico staff and got to meet some of the people and hooked in, and like that got you the next connection, and now you've built this great career at Syracuse, and probably that wouldn't happen if you didn't like kind of put yourself in those positions.
Totally. Yeah. One of my goals, I grew up not far from here, like you said, Maury, and one of my goals back when I was early in my career was eventually to get closer to home, but I never in a million years would have imagined I would have been able to work at Syracuse. But those connections at the conferences kind of got me an opportunity to get in front of people at Syracuse, and it all kind of went from there. So.
That's awesome. That's awesome.
Yeah. I mean, it is funny. Everybody is, and even when you get your job too, like it helps to connect you to get other jobs. But even when you're within your job, whether it's you're in an internship or you're at your entry level position, like everybody is watching, and that's how you build those relationships throughout your career. So it's something to get you into the industry or to continue to like help you grow in the industry. But also when you're in your job, it helps you get new opportunities, or, you get to be on a certain committee, or you get to help be a part of a special project that you might not have thought, you would do. But if you're making those connections and you're aware that everybody's watching you, it's important kind of across the board. So.
Awesome. Great start. Okay. What we got for your second tip or trick?
So my second tip is to have a healthy balance between confidence in bringing new ideas when you're new to the table and respect for what's in place. And that can be kind of hard sometimes when you come in and you have so much energy and you're really ready to go, and you want to make changes and improvements because you can see what could be better. But there's also always a reason something's done the way it's done. And I think starting to have a good balance between learning what's there and what's in place at a new position, and bringing those new ideas and figuring out where it all fits together is important.
Yeah, no, that's a great example. I know like you've kind of jumped into some new roles. I think we all three of us have kind of over the
Yeah.
last like couple of years have jumped into some new roles. And I agree, like more recently, like one of the things I was like, okay, I think I'm going to do it, but I've had to pull myself back to be like, okay, I need to analyze this, let people give me some feedback because I might think I know what it is, but I don't want to assume. And that's like kind of a really hard thing to do when you're trying to like make changes and, you know, you're in that role to kind of do something and evolve what you're doing. But at the same time, you want to make sure that you're not, you know, jumping over things and missing something. So that's a hard, it's not easy to do.
It's not, but it is really important. I think that
Yeah.
respect in it. I think your coworkers feel it too when you respect the things that they've done, but still bring new ideas that can make everybody better.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's that collaboration and that listening to them, a little bit of their like what, you know, their experience and like their recommendations, and trying to mesh that all together. It's a tricky like path to cross, but it in the end it's a positive result, and I think that that's what the goal is. So that's a really good one to remember. So
And I think that can be really hard too as a person doing it because a lot of times the administration's like, we want to make some changes. We want to change. Like they just want change. They don't know 100% what that change is. They know what they want it to be positive change. And so there's a lot of pressure to like, okay, I need to implement things, but that can come at a cost of like not setting yourself back because you don't have it right, or again, like messing up the dynamic of trying to get people to be successful and collaborative. And now you're kind of steamrolling everybody. So no, that's a good example and something probably pretty hard
Yeah,
to do for a lot of people.
absolutely. I mean, I don't think anybody wants to be stagnant, you know, and so change is not a bad thing. It's coming, no matter who we are or what positions we are, especially in athletics. So it's just a matter of doing it in a way that I think is respectful of the people around you and also keeps the organization moving forward.
Awesome.
yeah, yeah,
Great example.
yes,
Okay.
yes.
Number three. We got number three coming.
Yes. Yeah,
Okay.
we are cruising. We are cruising.
All right. So my third tip is that you need to be willing to grind and step in for things that might seem unrelated to what your career goals are, because it's all about learning. I think in academics, we are one of those units that, you know, we don't have all the kind of odd hours in terms of events and things like that all the time that some of the other areas of athletics have, but we still have to have folks who are willing to stay past, you know, 10 p.m. at night to help a kid finish a paper, or get up early and do the team meeting at the boathouse for the rowing team, because it's hard to get, you know, it's not necessarily easy for them to get to our facility all the time, or do those little things that are kind of outside the norm. And then also step up and learn in places and ways that aren't necessarily even academics, especially if that's not your goal. But even if it is, because you start to learn what your teammates and your collaborators do across the athletic department. Like we volunteered for the school day game that Jen puts on. We've helped out with which was one of my favorite events. And
I was just going to use that as an example. We'll get to that.
Yeah. And basketball tournament, women's basketball tournament, I think was here a few years ago, or
Yes.
the NIT, I can't remember.
Yeah.
Volunteering. I followed Sue Edson around, just running around, you know, and I didn't even understand what like a team host was or any of that. But it's really cool to learn what everybody else around you does and be able to support each other.
Yeah, the school day is the perfect example of that. Perfect shout out for that one, is because, you know, that's one of our biggest events of the year. I mean, a lot of schools across college athletics do it. The conference tournaments do it sometimes too. But so we invite all of these school kids to come to a women's basketball game in the middle of the day, and there's 10,000 kids in the dome, and it's not like, okay, they just pull up and they walk up like any other game. Like they have to we have to park buses, and we've got to escort them to their seats, and we've got to entertain them. But then, hey, we got to get them out of the seats and bring them back to their buses. And so there's a lot of coordination, and that's a perfect example of where so many other departments jump in and help. And it's not even really within, athletics. It's like campus-wide partners to help. And those are some of the things where those events wouldn't be successful without the volunteers and without the people wanting to learn about other things that we do and being a part of that and then really enjoying it too. So that's a great example of like learning what other people do and kind of the impact you can make. And even if you're a small part of it, it's such a huge impact. So I think people forget that. I feel like interns forget that. People just getting into the industry, like, oh, I have to stick with marketing or I have to stick with academics. I can't go outside of my comfort zone and learn what other departments do. And hey, that might spike your interest too in something else. So that's always key, I think. And that's a good way to put it. So
yeah, and like Katie, like you said, it's like mutual appreciation. It gives you that glimpse into like what another group does, which I really agree really helps you like be able to work with those other groups because now you have a better understanding of some of the things they go through, and even the fact that you've kind of bonded over these experiences that kind of bring you in and out of each other's world. So it's always nice when we can cross over and do those things, and it helps you grow as a professional. So that's an awesome one.
Yeah, and I think Jen, you just mentioned campus partnerships, and that's something that I think is so unique to college athletics. And we've not forgetting, but it's easy to forget that we're situated in this context of higher education, right? So it's athletics and all the things that you learn in marketing, sport marketing might apply to all these different sport areas, NASCAR or NBA or all of that. And it certainly applies to college athletics, but we have this unique setting that we are within the higher ed context. And I think it's easy to forget those campus partners too. So I'm glad that you mentioned that.
Yeah, and it kind of enriches the whole experience too, because when you're at a pro venue, you can't like go out and work with people on campus and do things and like evolve. And it kind of goes back to your first thing is like kind of stepping outside of your area. Like I recently it's like reached out to a faculty member to like kind of try and do a project with them and learn some things, or someone on campus said, hey, why don't you like get experience and join this committee? And like I feel like that helps so much to like enrich more of what you can do, and it's very unique to being in a college setting. It's not something that you can do when you're in a pro venue or working in a corporate setting. So no, it's a really good example of like, hey, if this is your career path and what you can get out of college compared to maybe going into a more corporate or pro environment. So no, awesome. Okay, I think we're at 4. Are we already at?
Yes, we are already at 4. We are crushing.
Jen's got to keep me in line. I can't.
I know. I got to help him count. Help him count, Katie. You both are doctors, but he can't count. So
you can't do the simplest things. You can only do the.
I think we're both qualitative researchers. So the quantitative.
Yes, we are qualitative researchers. Exactly.
I'm here to be able to count. Look at that's all I can do.
So the 4th tip, and this one is pretty specific to academic support, but I think it can apply in other areas too. Our area, we really cannot do anything with students if we don't have solid, real relationships with the students that we work with. I tell our staff sometimes, I think not necessarily we're not necessarily the only people left, but we're one of the only people left in some of our student athletes' lives who we don't get any benefit from them, right? Like we don't need them to be on the field to do what we are asking them to do. We don't get any money or any kickbacks we're not their agent. We're not a family member looking for financial support from all of this. We are just there literally to support them in figuring out who they are, which is what college is all about for college students, what they want to be and how they're going to get there. So we just have this really unique opportunity to be neutral and supportive in students as they navigate becoming, transitioning into adulthood. And we can't help motivate them to do the hard things when school is hard. We can't help motivate them with that if we don't have solid relationships with them, if we don't really understand why they're there and what their goals are and how we can help relate the things that they need to do on the academic side to their long-term goals. So my tip is to make sure that you're building real solid relationships. For us, it's especially with students, but it could be with anybody that you're working with.
Yeah, I think that's so incredible, and you're right. It's you guys are so uniquely suited, especially in the world that's developed with college athletics and how crazy things have gotten. And with that, kind of, I guess, branching off of your question, this I feel like comes up a lot in your world. But how do you work with a student that might not be as academically minded, but has a goal of going pro or being a professional athlete?
Yeah.
Like a lot of people think, well, they don't really care about academics, and I think sometimes that's a misnomer, or it's a misunderstanding of the people. And I think it would be great to hear your perspective on, like, what does that mean, especially when you're talking about, how important it is to build relationships.
Yeah, so there's this book out there. It was a study by sociologists back in the late 80s, but I still think it's one of the most relevant things in college athletics. It's called Backboards and Blackboards, and these sociologists kind of embedded themselves with a basketball team. And they talked about how these students, they come in with all these same goals and motivations, and they really want to be good students, and they want to live the college life, and they just get pulled in so many directions once they're on campus that they don't necessarily understand, or it's really hard to prepare for, that they find themselves engulfed. It's called the theory of role engulfment. They're engulfed in this role of their athlete self, and it kind of pulls them from some of these other areas. So knowing that could happen to students, I think, is one of the most important things, but also staying open-minded. Like you said, that it is a misnomer that they're not necessarily coming here to go to school. I think everybody comes with an intention of getting something out of it. So one of the things is making sure we're trying to set them up for success, right? So understanding who they are. One of our staff members right now, we have a lot of new football students coming, and actually over this break, one of her roles is to call all of them and get to know them a little bit. Why are you coming to Syracuse? Why was this the choice that you made? What do you want to do with the major that you're in? What's kind of your long-term goal? So getting to know them that way helps us to then help them understand how things can relate to what their long-term goal is, even when it's a class that's kind of tough, or setting them up with some things that are going to relate to something they're interested in. So if they are interested in a career in athletics as an athlete, okay, then let's use your humanities class as philosophy of sport or religion in sport, so that we can see how some of these liberal arts things do tie to what you're doing on a daily basis. Talk about classes like that. We'll talk about things like sports betting and how that might impact them. So that's one way that we do it. Another thing that we do is to talk about their pivot, right? So everybody's going to have a pivot at some point in their career, whether it's from being an athlete to being a broadcaster, or being an athlete to being a fashion designer. Like there's always going to be a pivot. Hopefully for our students who want to go pro, it's really late in their athletic careers. Hopefully they have a good long time that they're able to have a professional career playing the sport that they love. But at some point they're going to pivot, and we want to be here to set them up for that now, and then be here to support them when that actually happens, if it is further down the road. So we have for example, a men's soccer player who's been out for almost a decade now, and we're helping him finish up his degree because he knows he's getting ready for that pivot himself, and he needs to have that done and ready to go. And then the other thing that we talk about is, how do you want to use your platform? So you have this voice as an athlete. What do you want to be educated on so that you can speak to it, right? So are you really interested in issues of child poverty or child hunger? Okay, then let's talk about human development, family science as a major, or sociology as a major, so that you can use your platform to talk about these issues and really know what you're talking about, and use the voice that you have. So those are some of the things we talk about to try to help motivate them or guide them in the direction that they want to go academically.
That's awesome. I knew you'd have a killer answer for this.
I was going to say, that's so interesting. I was like, oh my God, like that's so cool how, I mean, I love the last point about like, how do you use your platform? Because I think some people don't think about how they can use it in a real positive way in life. And athletes are so, like not under the microscope, but they're just so magnified. Like they have the social following, they're out there, they're talking in the media, like, and they have that, that ability to make a change. And again, that might not be the career they want to go into, but to be able to be educated enough to talk about it and feel strongly and passionate about it, that's so interesting to me. I love that. That's so cool that they're able to do that and be a part of something like that. So that you guys do, that's awesome.
And I think it's great because I think a lot of students that are, athletically minded and wanting to go pro don't always come in understanding that process. And for you guys to help them navigate that and be able to make some of these connections, maybe it's more, preferential and they don't see it in a more specific way, but help them get to that point, and doing it through relationships is so awesome. So, if nothing else, people that are students that are going in that want to be pro, this is what it is. So Katie, awesome. Well, with that, we're going to go to the last big question, one. Jen.
All right. So Katie, what do you know now that you wish you knew then? So what do you know now at this point in your career that you wish you knew when you first started?
So I really wish I had been a little bit more open-minded when I started early. I had this idea that this was going to be my career path. This is what I wanted to do. And I wanted to get to this one point, right? And at one point it was, I wanted to be a senior woman administrator, which I don't even know if I have that goal anymore. And there were a couple of things about that as I thought about it, I was like, first of all, it's kind of limiting. Why don't I want to be an athletic director? Why just a senior woman administrator? Right? Which is not even a just role, a massive role. But then also I kind of had it in my head that if I didn't get there, I was failing at something. And I don't think that's true at all. I think things come along that you don't know are going to come along. College athletics looks so different right now than it did just a few years ago. And it's going to look different in the next few years than it does right now. So staying open to possibilities and being kind of open-minded. I also said at 22 that I didn't want to ever work at a Power 5 school, and here I am. So.
Here we are, Katie.
And now it's a Power 4. So
Power 4 now. It's Power 4.
Yeah, exactly. So you were right. You're not working. You're working at a Power 4. It's great.
Yeah. So that's my tip. Be open to possibilities because you just don't know what's coming, and you don't want to be so focused that you miss a great opportunity.
Well, Katie, we are so happy that you joined us. We knew that you would crush this and that this would just be a great opportunity for people that are looking to be in the world of athletics or in. So hopefully everyone gets to hear all your great tips. So thank you.
Yes, this was great,
Absolutely.
Katie.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you. It's always fun to catch up with a friend. And hey, I learned that you were a synchronized swimmer. How did I not know that? Like, that is so cool.
I knew. See, I knew because I know Katie the longest.
Okay, whatever. That is so.
There you go.
That is so cool. That is so cool. But yes, thank you so much, Katie, and thanks for everyone for listening. And make sure you guys are following us on all your social platforms and listening on all your podcast platforms. Liking and sharing and commenting and rating and reviewing and all the things. And we appreciate all the support. So thank you guys. And thank you, Katie.
Bye.
Yeah,
bye everybody.
You.
Thank you.
So
Bye.
If you like the 5 Tips and Tricks podcast, make sure to subscribe on your favorite podcast platform. You can rate and review us, including questions that may be answered on future episodes. The 5 Tips and Tricks podcast for careers in athletics is part of Athletic Career Consulting. Check us out at www.athcareer.com. Don't forget to follow and like us on your top social media platforms.